My name is Lunmintang Hoke, DC, Executive Director, District Rural Development Agency, Churachandpur. First of all, I thank God and my staff that DRDA is about to bring out a documentary on the progress of DRDA activities in the past. DRDA Churachandpur was registered in 1981 under Societies Registration Act 1860. Presently, DRDA Churachandpur has 48 technical and non-technical staff. Earlier, the district of Churachandpur was known as land of precedence, but presently it's a challenge to make it land of precedence. DRDA Churachandpur has 3 wings and or sections: administration section, account section, and technical section. Presently, DRDA Churachandpur is taking up government flagship programs like MGNREGS, which was initiated since 2007, IAY, Indira Awas Yojana, or rural housing. It also takes up multi-sector development program, popularly known as MSTP. In the 11th plan period and in the beginning of 12th plan, BRGF Backward Regions Grant Fund was taken up in the district. The watershed program, which was known as IWMP, has renamed PMKSY. The district had submitted its district irrigation plant very recently, and soon it will also take up PMKSY. The last addition to the activities of DRDA was SSGY, Swarna Adarsh Gramin Yojana. Honorable MP Outer Manipur have selected Kangwai village in the district to be developed as the model village. DRDA Churachandpur indeed sets the pace of rural development. Thank you.
An agency for change. DRDA Churachandpur was registered under Societies Registration Act 1860 in 1980 with the sole objective to bring about tangible change for the better development of the rural blocks of the largest district in Manipur state, constituting 20.47% of the state's total geographical area. As of today, the Progressive Rural Development Agency with DC, CCPur, as ED-DRDA at the helm of affairs is made functional by 3 POs, two AOs, and 3 APOs, assisted by 45 contractual ADM staff, 3 IAY staff, who in turn are supported by 58 casual scheme staff under MG and REGS, and 10 muster roll staff. DRDA schemes. Implementation of Government of India's flagship programs like MG and REGS, MSDP, IAY, Rural Housing, BADP from MHA, and the recently announced SAGY, Sansad Adarsh Gram Yojana, which are technically handled by 1 EE, 3 AEs and 3 SOs at DRDA level and rural development functionaries at the cutting-edge blocks, comprising of 12 BDOs and their subordinates, are managed collectively as per the prescribed guidelines of Government of India to ensure delivery of services and benefits to the target beneficiaries. Livelihood activities under MG and REGS. Post-1993, when an unfortunate hill area communal clash took place in the state that displaced a good chunk of tribal populace, many affected rural poor families moved base in search of petty manual works for a living in the state's urban settlements. The 100-day employment guarantee scheme lured them all back to the back blocks. The flexible work components MG and REGS offered on payment of wages for an unshared period of time made up for shortages in income of the target groups. Sustenance came easier and job card became a household name with some hope attached to it. Pineapple cultivation at Jozam village, CCPur. With thanks to the permission of the chief of Jozam in Tuibung block, who owns the land, a cluster of 3 to 4 families of the gentle slopes inhabiting settlement of 67 houses began to plant pineapple saplings way back in 2009 and 2010 period under MG and REGS.
Junia tarikh June kumsang nila som ligup tunga laya zozam coin kumtain ating zozam kusung piti ho nga do na ne kay na maho lengthi lin ele movin ating la lengthi yung apwin punang isil puwin kakipa alhezin kakipa na kain point tula lengthi le ki bo na himi tam ta in profit na ne hin ating la min inten na ne hin laya zozam ho lengthi ki tu ho zo siang pathirin pathei bu intin ating la ama ho dinga jong mau kiu se patsun hi pontin atil mitam ta patsun zo hitain kakipai
PMKSY watershed component is implemented by District Rural Development Agency as a project implementing agency in Churasanpur district. Under PMKSY watershed component, we have taken up different components under watershed development work as well as livelihood activities. For watershed development work, we have taken up activities like bench terracing, afforestation, horticulture activities, and we have taken up under livelihood. You can see in the board here, placed by the watershed committee of Saikot village. We have taken up mushroom cultivation, beekeeping, and various handloom handicraft products as a livelihood alternatives for the self-help groups, who is the main implementing agency of the livelihood activities. Thank you.
Watershed management in CCPur. Integrated Watershed Management Program, popularly known as IWMP, has been renamed PMKSY Watershed recently. DRDA CCPur launched the Game Changer scheme in financial year 2009-2010. The main objectives of IWMP are to restore the ecological balance by harnessing, conserving and developing degraded natural resources such as soil, vegetative cover and water. In the district, of all the 18 watershed projects taken up in 9 blocks, all of which are headed and monitored by 6 WCDC staff and 40 WDT watershed development team members, captained by PO PMKSY, Project 10 at Saikot stands out in performance and achievement. Watershed project at Saikot. The components of IWMP are baseline survey, capacity building, EPA entry point activity, watershed development work WDW, livelihood activities, production system and micro enterprises. IWMP Project 10 at Saikot, implemented by DRDA CCPur, has taken up WDW activities like agriculture, horticulture, pasture development, contour bunding, bench terrace, etc. Stakeholders' capacity was built up in the preparatory phase to equip them with the know-how to take up livelihood activities like carpentry, beekeeping, piggery, poultry, mushroom cultivation, etc., and underproduction system and micro-enterprise, works like vermicomposting unit, nursery plantation, horticultural plantation, micro-enterprises, and organic farming. In Project 10, rainwater too is being harvested and water tank made and farm pond dug right in the middle of the project area.
I feel happy to have been chosen to endorse the progress of DRDA in one of the fastest developing districts in our land. As an AMI, it's a wonderful privilege for me to visit the beautiful work site taken up by DRDA Chandpur, where I can feel real livelihood activities taking place. District Rural Development Agency Chandpur indeed sets the pace of rural development. May God bless DRDA Chandpur. Thank you.
Over to Kuga. Located 7 kilometers south of downtown CCPur, Manipur, the 38 meters high, 230 meters wide Kuga Dam, the construction of which started in 1983 and resumed in 2002 across the erstwhile popular river Tuitapi or Kuga River, which was projected to be a multi-purpose venture having power generation, water supply and irrigation components. The dam in which the upper CCPur cultivators pinned their hopes on was inaugurated finally by Mrs. Sonia Gandhi on 12 November 2010.
On terrains south of Manipur state, across ranges north of Mizo Plate, upon the gentle slopes that cover land and rivers up to the borders, God placed people who are ethnic to live unique in Chandpur district. The state calls to take part in giant stride. Fate keep us apart as defiant tribes. Greed to love oneself, will to cows lead. The great God knows all things we need. Let's pray that nature's fury may cease and malice weakness may freeze in peace. To lift up our lot, God keeps giving. The gift is to see our stock booming. We put in less and ask for much more. Him we thank less and rue in our core. His light pull up, shakes up the weak world. To draw nigh to Him will serve the world. Churchanpur's blessings are God-given. Our moods and springs are heavy laden. Man's nature craves to be self-ridden. Will gain stature in being goal-driven. Let's wake up to plan out our future, that our 10 blocks may hit a sixer.
Cry over spilled water. Today, disheartened by the frequent fabled drowning cases on the banks of Kuga River-turned lake, which could either be due to lack of habitual or departmental caution or supernatural affliction, residents of the district are vertically divided on the utility of the NPCC-constructed earthen dam, spillways and canal, and the R.M. Sinha and Company made powerhouse water supply systems. The harsh critics of the gigantic project at the mention of it spare no expletives in dubbing it a partially functional undertaking. That the spilled water of the dam had submerged hundreds of acres of land for which, of course, they had been suitably compensated. In the catchment villages like Misao Lavong, Bualian, Matamoltam, Lamzang, Gelzang, etc., and failed to irrigate paddy fields as targeted, pessimistic observers are not entirely wrong when they run down the non-performing project. The silver lining. The optimists view that although much water which has flowed down the river to Itapi allegedly got wasted, Kuga Dam is not an utter letdown. Came dry season, every year, and the western part of CCPur's town, Tedim Road, stretched, had regularly been struggling under staggering drinking water shortage. Of late, as reported by functionaries of PHED CCPur, a 2.5 lakh litre capacity service reservoir to store treated water pumped from Kuga Lake has been installed at Kuga Bank in Bualian land under improvement of water supply for Churchanpur in Zone 3, 2014. The treated water is being piped down and stored in the huge overhead zonal reservoir at CCPur higher secondary premises. The Zone 3 venture had started supplying drinking water to the residential neighborhood from Hilltown to CCPur police station and Bizang twice in a week. If made operative to full capacity, after a new pumping set is being installed at the source base, our burgeoning township's water woes may become a nightmare of the past. A potential Ambi Valley. Thanks to Sahara Group, 27 kilometers hidden from the heavy-laden Mumbai-Pune expressway traffic, spread in 10,000 acres of hillland, Ambi Valley has become a world-class resort replete with Spanish chalets, 5-star hospitality accessories, golf course, and a state-of-the-art water sports facilities. A chance exposure to the top-notch tourist heaven kept me thinking, why can't we develop our own Kuga, which has a perennial feeder river to bank on, into an Ambi Valley-type waterfront tourist destination with a vision to link tourism with economic growth. Ambi waters are rain-fed. With rapid globalization of our planet and ecotourism gaining momentum, the dream to build up an Amy version of poor man's French Riviera, if we can stitch up a pan-Amy emotional unity, is not entirely beyond our grasp. Back to DRDA CCPur. With all roads starting from the district's block headquarters, merging at the district headquarters and Ministry of Rural Development, continually concerned about rural development, its advantage DRDA Churchanpur. Plans are afoot to materialize the objectives of e-district. Let us go for skill development on a war footing and motivate our educated youth to push the envelope in entrepreneurship. If we can together create an investment climate and implement rural development programs in letter and spirit, the days are not far when we will become a reference district to reckon with.